4-3. My mic is live and we are up. This is Wall Street Sizing Up. We're doing stock market news today for February 10th. News. Year of our Lord 2021. We got a big show today, so we're going to move fast. I try to do this under 10 minutes. I typically don't do it. It typically goes about 11 to 12, if you know what I mean. So instead of my ugly mug being on here, we're going to go to the markets right now. Dow was down today for a while, but it finished up 61. NASDAQ stayed down at 35 points down, and S&P was only down about a point and a half. Big movers today were the pot stocks. Let me tell you why. If you've been reading between the tea leaves, the Reddit crowd, there are several subreddits. I'm not even saying Wall Street Bets subreddit, but they have turned their attention to pot stocks and particularly Tilray. And if you look at Tilray, it is up 50% today, as is Sundial Growers, which has been going up for 5 days now. My God, it's ridiculous. It was literally a cent stock. I want to say it was under 25 cents, and now it is well over almost $3. So if I'm seeing that right. Anyway, also, this channel is sponsored by StockTrade.tips. They have one goal. One goal is to help you profit off the insider knowledge of the hedge funds. And let me give you an example. Today alone, Savvy Management, ITRM, that's Ethereum Therapeutics, they sized up this morning, right? Today, on February 10th, with 7.5 million shares plus for about a $17 million position, it goes up 21%. Boom, just like that. Again, every day I can give you examples of that. So that is why you watch Wall Street Sizing Up and the stocks to watch. Let's move on. Just breaking. So if you haven't watched Twitter today, let me get it up there real quick. Twitter. So basically, Mark Cuban, the Dallas Mavericks have not been playing the national anthem. Nobody knew except the players and people that work for the team. They had some healthcare workers there, I believe, like 2 nights ago, and it got out that they didn't play the national anthem. So Mark Cuban says, yeah, we don't think it's fair. It doesn't represent people on the team. You're right. It doesn't represent people on the team. It represents the entire country. Anyway, so it's blown up. It's gotten huge. It's severely tarnished his brand in Dallas and in Texas. And I hate to say that because I actually know Mark Cuban, or I've met him, right? We have friend of friends here in Dallas, if you would. But NBA has just come out. All teams will play the national anthem in keeping with long-standing league policy. So we can clear that up. All right, Twitter. Let's talk about Twitter. You know, the earnings came out yesterday. I just want to put some things in perspective. I agree with Professor Galloway. Something has got to give here. Twitter, I get you're up 16% this year. Congratulations. But here's the deal. You went public at like 44, and you're at what, 59? Congratulations. You're absolutely killing it. While, you're at a $48 billion valuation. Facebook's at over $1 trillion, right? You're literally worth 6% of what Facebook is, right? And Facebook pulls in 28x the revenue that you did just last quarter. In a quarter, they pull in 28x of what you do. So here's the deal. Man, I don't want to run through all the numbers, but here's the thing. Daily active users were up actually to 192 million a day. That's DAUs, right? To put that in perspective, Reddit has 52 million DAUs. Snapchat has 265 million. Snapchat's killing them. Pinterest, even just blowing them out of the water. Pinterest has 459 million monthly active users, right? And then Facebook has 1.8 billion daily active users, right? Also on the call with Twitter and Dorsey, which, by the way, Dorsey talked like less than like 15% of the time. I don't understand. I guess he's going between Square and Twitter. I don't really get that. I don't see how a CEO can literally split his time with such newsworthy and heavy market cap companies. Even though Twitter's 48, you would call that like a micro cap, I would guess, or a small cap. Sorry, but anyway, when asked about Twitter's reaction to Tesla's buy about Bitcoin, concerning Jack Dorsey's interest in cryptocurrency at Square. Twitter CFO Ned Segal said the company is studying potential paying its service providers' employees in Bitcoin. However, no material steps have been taken yet to buy out of reserves. You want to know why? Because they ain't got a lot. We talked about the pot stocks. All right, top 5 analyst upgrades. It is Hain Celestial, Hain. Key growth drivers still have a long runway. Denali, which we have put on this channel twice now, DNLI, Denali Therapeutics, upgraded to overweight. Denali, made in 2020, has laid a strong foundation for its pipeline programs in neurodegenerative diseases. Next up is Coty, Koty, upgrade to outperform. That's a long explanation. ManpowerGroup, MAN, was upgraded to a buy. That's a big one. Due to the pandemic keeping them down. Goodyear Tire was upgraded to overweight. Tire makers didn't cut prices to reflect raw material price declines in Q2 and Q3, contending that the industry pricing environment is strongest for many years to come. That's why they were upgraded. Top 5 analyst downgrades today. Corsair Gaming, I thought this was very interesting. CRSR downgraded that. Here's what the analysts say. It was downgraded, and the possible reason why was the high demand and lockdown will be unsustainable in 2021 as those people shift their disposable income from gambling into entertainment and vacations and dining out versus staying home and just, throwing their stimulus checks at DraftKings or at the market or Bitcoin, whatever. Next up, another downgrade. Akamai, AKAM, downgraded to a hold. Big story there. Believe they they made the earnings, but it relies heavily on the acquisition of brick and mortar franchise. I'm reading that wrong. Forget that. Akamai, AKAM, was downgraded. Just take that. Lithia Motors, LAD. This is one that the risk is at a risky time for the industry. They're relying on brick and mortar franchises. LAD downgraded. Vertex Energy, VTNR, saying that stock has traded beyond fundamentals as its share price has increased by 185% in the last month. Okay, let's talk about fundamentals. I mean, good Lord, really? I mean, is that where we're going here? Canopy Growth, I thought that was interesting too. That was downgraded. That's CGC. That's a pot stock. Colin Kaepernick back in the news. Our favorite football player who really never played that much. Known for taking a knee in the national anthem to protest, which is funny that it comes out today in the whole Cuban thing. It's part of a special purpose acquisition company, a SPAC, that is seeking to raise $287 million. That's close to $300 million. I do applaud this. Mission Advancement says it's focused on the consumer companies making an impact financially, culturally, and socially. In related news, James Murdoch, Rupert Murdoch's son, is launching a SPAC to acquire Asian media brands. Shopify, let's talk about them. I've got them as my number one stock for the next 5 years. I think they're the only stock that can actually compete with Amazon. If you want to go deeper into that, I made a video on it like 3 months ago. Shopify, SHOP, is expanding its Shop Pay payment option to all users, selling on Facebook and Instagram. It will be available to Instagram users in the U.S. from Tuesday and on Tuesday, and to Facebook users in the coming weeks. Customers will be able to use Shop Pay alongside other payment options such as the Facebook Pay. So Facebook is giving you a choice. The U.S. government plans to force the sale of TikTok to Oracle. Walmart has been called off indefinitely, according to the Wall Street Journal. The government is due to respond to TikTok's court challenge regarding the ban of the app on February 18th. Trump's executive order to ban several other Chinese apps, including WeChat, Pay, Alipay, will go into effect this week. So I believe Biden does agree with that. Yesterday, another Chinese tech company, Huawei, filed a lawsuit to dispute the FCC's claim that Huawei is a national security threat. Let me tell you, they are. The company estimated that the resulting potential loss could be up to $30 billion. I'm sad for those workers, but you're in bed with the CCP. Get out of bed. Pride President Biden's nominee for Commerce Secretary Gina, I hope I'm saying this right, Raimondo, said last week that the Huawei ban will likely continue under the Biden administration. I applaud that. CDC study. Now, this is interesting, guys. Very interesting. CDC study run in December shows that only 49% of Americans intend to receive a COVID-19 vaccine. This is significantly lower than what was thought to be 70 to 85% of the population that would need the vaccine to suppress the pandemic and get to some sort of, herd immunity. Vaccines. The number of U.S. adults willing to get the vaccine rose from September to December. That's good, but was still 50% of what the CDC reported. Yesterday, a Walgreens executive said this. Now, this is nuts to me. 60% of nursing home staff is refusing the vaccine, and 20% of residents in nursing homes are declining the shots is the way this is. That is crazy to me. Guys, good Lord. I don't understand that. It's mRNA. They're not even injecting you with the actual virus itself. It's a booster shot is what it is. Apple Watch. So watch this. So this is pretty cool. Mount Sinai study found that the health monitoring on Apple Watch can detect COVID a week before testing. The Warrior Watch study published in the peer-reviewed Journal of Medical Internet Research tracked several hundred healthcare workers between April and September 2020. Each participating in Apple's watch measured heart rate, HRV, which is a key indicator of nervous system stress. It's a very sensitive way to pick up those changes, that infections that could be occurring sometimes before people know it. So they think that it can, right? It's not a guarantee, but they can see that. And if you see that on your watch, you can then go get a test, and boom, you could possibly have it. So it looks like you probably will. 63% of all small business owners support President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package. 46% of Republican small business owners support the plan. The 14% of them approving of Biden's work thus far. So 14% of all Republican small business owners do approve of Biden and what he's doing. So it's good to hear, even though it's a small amount. My thing is, why are we giving it to large corporations? Just put the stimulus in the hands of the people, for the God's sake. A recent report shows that Robinhood registered a team to lobby on its behalf in Washington, guys. The company plans to lobby bills that could influence its revenue model. The report shows that Robinhood plans to lobby bills from Democrats intended to regulate Wall Street and protect the average consumer, including the Wall Street Tax Act of 2019 and the Inclusive Prosperity Act of 2019, proposed by Bernie Sanders. If you didn't know, they're against it because, I don't know, probably because it's so easy to trade on their app. And again, Congress thinks that we're all fools, that we don't know how to handle our money. And some of us don't, but for most of us that can, pick up a book and, read 50 pages, I think that we can make our own decisions. Plus, we're freaking adults. CNBC personality Jim Cramer has turned bullish on Bitcoin in the wake of Tesla's $1.5 billion buy. I think it's almost irresponsible not to include Bitcoin on corporate balance sheets. Cramer said on CNBC Tuesday, every treasurer should be going to their boards of directors and saying, should we put a small portion of our cash in Bitcoin? You should if you got it. It seems to be an interesting way to hedge against the rest of the environment. It seems to be an interesting hedge to, fiscal policy, monetary policy. Good God. Nice hedge against fiat is what he says. He's previously endorsed MicroStrategy's Bitcoin Treasury Reserve. He called Michael Saylor a gunner. He would not bet against him. So Cramer on CNBC. Again, I don't like to mention CNBC stories on this channel, but there was one. Uber is testing free rides to Walgreens to get your vaccines in pilot cities Chicago, Atlanta, Houston, and El Paso. Bam. Electric vehicle startup Rivian looking to go public at a $50 billion valuation, reports Bloomberg. As of January, it was valued at $27 billion, so almost 2x. Raised another $2.6 billion in January. So yeah, it's looking to go. It has raised $8.2 billion from investors such as Amazon, Fidelity, and BlackRock. It has an agreement to build 100,000 electric delivery vans by 2030. 10,000 will be available by 2022. Here's the thing. Rivian plans to build 3 different types of models of the van, which can function on a single charge for 150 miles. Good to know. Let's talk about GM, another automaker. I'm actually bullish GM. The largest automaker in the U.S. handily beat its Q4 earnings expectations. We saw that, but warned that 2021 could be a setback because of the global semiconductor chip shortage. Can we shore that up? NVIDIA, good God, and AMD and Intel. Hell, I mean, we'll use Intel. Just get your tech up. GM announced earnings per share of $1.93 compared to a projected $1.63. Beat it. Q4 rev up was up 22% year over year at $37 billion, with net profit rising to $2.85 billion. They experienced after experiencing a net losses a year earlier. The automaker has stated it expects new profit to climb in 2021 despite the global semiconductor chip shortage causing it to shut down some of its factories so far this year. Thought this was interesting, and we're getting to the end here, guys. Israel has now administered a COVID vaccine dose to almost 70% of its population, approaching the 75 to 90% level that many experts believe could offer herd immunity. Although still nowhere near Israel's rate, the U.S. and U.K. also make it into the top 5 countries for vaccinations, which people didn't think that we can do going back to, I don't know, whenever Trump said it, and now that Biden's taken over, it continues. Top 5 countries for vaccinations, with the UK having administered a vaccine dose in 19% of its population. US is at 13%. Dogecoin, we got to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it long. I just thought this was very interesting. So Dogecoin, its market cap has gone literally, it's centralized. There's like 20 wallets control 48% of the entire Dogecoin, right? So $10 billion market cap. That's larger than the Gap and Under Armour. So if we thought the GameStop story was crazy, Dogecoin is even crazier. And I think that Elon Musk, I don't even know if I've got that up or not, but Elon Musk even literally said that he bought some he bought some Bitcoin for, I want to say he said Lil Wayne. So it was great. Last but not least, strange news. There is a mysterious photo of a purple flower that receives 78 million hits each day. You need to Google this. It looks like you're looking in, the picture looks like you have the eyes of a fly, and it's like hundreds of these pictures of this purple flower. And it's getting 78 million hits a day since roughly June 2019 of 2020. You got to Google this. The photo of the purple daisy now accounts for 20% of data requests on the Wikimedia Commons. That's Wikipedia Commons. It is unknown where the traffic is coming from, except that it is likely to be from a mobile app. It appears that the mysterious app's developers copied code that links to the image. It must be a very popular app. So that's the first thing we need to find out, right? The app is likely an Indian TikTok clone, as the traffic coincides with the date that TikTok was banned in the country. I find that fascinating. Look that up, and that will do it for today's stock market news. We appreciate you guys joining us. I'm sorry I went long. We just had a lot of stories. I went through as quickly as I could. As we say every day, watch your 6, you go hard to paint. Cheers, and we will see you tomorrow. See you guys. Thanks again.